Welcome to Taiwanica. My name is Eric Matthews. I am one of the hosts here on Taiwanica podcast and also a life coach. I am here to proudly introduce today's episode. It is episode 43 with our other host Anita having an interview with the amazing Erin. She is a Taiwanese who has traveled the world and is going to share her points of view with you today about how to travel, what are some of the culture shocks, and just so much more. So definitely stay tuned. There's so much to learn here. It was so great to have her, and I think you're going to really enjoy all the fun that she brings today. So without further ado, let's dive on into today's episode.
All right, so today with our interview for Erin. Erin has a really special background. So first thing first, Erin, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Taiwan, and I live in several cities in my life so far. I was raised in Taichung City, but my hometown is in Tainan, and just went to different countries to teach. Yeah, and like most of the Taiwanese, I went to cram school like 补习班 for like 8 years to learn English, so that's why I know English.
That's how you know English.
Yeah.
Awesome. You're being very humble here. You mentioned about you been to many different cities. So are those cities involved in your English learning journey?
No, not really, because I didn't go to any English speaking countries before I was 25 years old. So I didn't learn English in the Western countries. No, never. I just learned English in Taiwan because I majored in English in my college. So I think that is the reason why I learn English well.
Wow, that's great. Do you like English?
Yeah, I guess so.
Hope so.
Yeah, the process was very tough, but now when you can speak and the sense of achievement, I think that's pretty fun.
I'm pretty sure most of the Taiwanese people they are sharing the same, pretty much same background. They went to cram school learning English, but not many people have what you just described, the sense of achievement. So, what is the moment you have the understanding and realization? Say, oh, my English is actually pretty good.
Oh, I think it should be when the first time that I was able to talk to the non-Taiwanese speakers. I think that was the moment. But I remember they were the people from Thailand, from Japan. So I was not pretty sure like how was my ability was, but I was pretty sure that I was able to communicate with the foreigners.
See, it's always a good feeling, right? Like you've been put into a room. None of them are from your country, but you are able to communicate with them. So basically, your learning journey is cram school, majored in English only
English, yeah.
in college, and
Yeah.
then when you graduate from college, what did you do? You just start traveling around?
No, I went teaching in America in a HBCU school in South Carolina in the States. I taught Mandarin Chinese there in a college.
How,
Yeah, so
how does it feel like?
I was very nervous at that time because during my college life, I just went to cram school to be a part-time teacher or teaching assistant there. And I taught English in college as well, but I had never taught Mandarin Chinese to anyone else. But there was a big challenge for me, so I had to start all over again. It is a new thing for me to teach Mandarin Chinese there. Yes, so I had a really big culture shock there. Yeah, and I realized how difficult Chinese is at that time.
Right? I totally agree. I understand what you're saying. Correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong. Like, we are a native speaker of Mandarin Chinese, of course, but when you're teaching it, it feels like it's a different profession.
Yeah, really difficult. I was wondering how could I speak in Mandarin Chinese in my
Seriously.
life.
I also have a little bit of a teaching Mandarin Chinese experience a couple years ago, but not like you. I'm just a private tutor. So after that, what happened next?
Next, I moved back to Taiwan and did quarantine because the COVID-19. So I did quarantine for a couple of days. I could say that was the best time in my life, just not working, not doing anything for 15 days in a quarantine hotel. that is the best.
Thank you for
and
sharing.
and after that, I was just started teaching on Amazing Talker, and until now, it's been 3 years.
Okay. So basically, that's your English learning journey.
Yeah, but I also had experience when I was in China. When I was a college student, I went to China for a year for teaching English as well there. Yeah, so that was also my English journey.
So when you're in China, what are your students? Like kids, adults?
Yeah, the really small kids, like 2 to 6 years old kids, they have a lot of early age children there to learn English, so I was being part of them there.
I see. Could you give me one of the highlights in your English
Like-
learning journey? What is the highlight?
Okay, so I would say I majored in English. I went China for teaching English for children, like the early age children. And then when I graduated, I went to America to teach them in Chinese. And then after I came back to Taiwan, I teach online and being a digital nomad.
I see.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned in the beginning, you're having a new step right now.
Oh yeah, I'm still preparing and learning, so I think it's still far from now. Yeah, but in progress. Yeah.
In progress. Yeah, that's all that matters, right? If you wanted to do something, you have to make the effort and engage to every step to your goal.
Yeah.
So I prepared a few questions to ask you because you are Taiwanese and you have, many different experience like teaching in a foreign country and you speak the language. So I wanted to ask you a few questions for you to share your opinions. So the first question is, as a Taiwanese, could you please tell us a couple of positive and negative aspects that you experienced when you living in the USA? Positive and negative.
The most positive thing for me would be the fresh air there because I had a really bad breathing issues and eczema issues. So, after I moved to the States, the fresh air really saved my life.
It's so important, right? Like I've also noticed that when I was in Taiwan, I just, like you say, have a lot of problems. But I was just like, I grew up in this country. How bad could it be? Until I moved to the USA, everything changed. My skin, my breathing problem, you just all gone, and my skin just so nice.
See? Yeah,
Right?
that is
That's
true.
definitely
That happened to me too.
Yeah. So the first positive thing is the clean air, the fresh air.
Yeah.
For all of you who are listening, Taiwan is really not that bad.
Just, when you're comparing. So.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So, is there anything else that's positive?
Oh yeah, because I really love traveling. So when I was traveling in the States, we had a road trip. Me and my friends, we drove from Boston to Key West, which is really close to the south of Florida. So we drove for a couple days or a couple weeks. Yeah, and on the way there, it was very easy for us to find hostels or hotels and gas stations. I was surprised about that.
That's great.
Yeah, in Taiwan, if you want to find a hotel or hostel, you have to make reservations like in advance, and you also have the check-in time. So like before 7 p.m. you have to check in.
Yeah.
But in the United States, you can do that like for 24 hours. So I think it was very convenient for travelers.
Yeah, and I think I remember when I was a kid, you don't usually make the reservation for hotels and stuff like that. But recently,
Yeah.
seems like it's a new
Yeah.
trend.
Because I think people now are waking up that, I cannot just keep working.
Yeah, that's definitely a positive thing. Anything else you would like to share?
Thing like toilet paper is everywhere in public toilets. So I like this too. In Taiwan, the public toilet, they don't have toilet paper, so
Yeah.
it's quite inconvenient. Because I always forget something, so it's important for me.
It's
as
important,
well.
right?
Very impressive. One more, I think people don't have too many preconceived notions. They respect people a lot, no matter where you're from and who you are. From my experience, so people are all very, very nice, friendly, and kind to me when I was there.
Definitely. Now we have finished the positive. Now let's move on to the negative.
Okay. I think the negative thing, of course, is the really high living cost.
Agreed.
Yeah, so, when I am in Taiwan, we can, buy our 3 meals and everything in restaurant, but it's impossible to do that in the States. So, yeah, but they also make me know how to learn some local Taiwanese food as well. I have the cooking skills right now.
That's so true. Yes, but I've started to notice I can cook so many Taiwanese dishes that I never knew that I can do when I was in the States. Like 鸡肉饭.
Oh,
I can make 火鸡
okay.
肉饭 right now. That's like so impressive.
Wow.
I'm just impressed.
Okay.
I'm impressed by
You
myself.
can start your restaurant there too, I guess.
I know, right? That's why all the immigrants who are, from Asian, especially from Asian, they started their first business is usually restaurants. Now I can understand.
I can make 咸酥鸡 right now.
Oh my god! Is it difficult to make?
Yeah. No, super easy. When you really need to eat that, you will know how to make it.
It's definitely a survival skill. I would like you to teach me that after the interview.
I can share the video I learned from with you later.
Yeah, agree. High cost living lifestyle here is definitely a negative aspect.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think it should be no offense, but the inefficient administration. I really have a story about this. When we were there, we had to apply for the social security number, right? And until now, I haven't received my social security number. It's been 3 years.
Oh my god.
So I just give up. Yeah, I think at that time, they told me I can have it like within 2 weeks. And I just keep waiting, and it's been a month. And then I went back to the office and asked for that, and the staff told me, "Oh, we forgot to submit that. Just let's do it again." I said, "Okay, let's do it again." And I waited for another 1 month, and then I get back again, and they told me, "Oh, I think there's something wrong. The system is done." I said, "Okay, you are done too." And then, no, just kidding. But after that, okay, I have to wait for another 1 month. So, the time just flies.
Yeah.
And after a year, I was about to leave the school. And I said, okay, it's fine. I don't need it anymore.
Seriously?
Yeah, because they're just too slow and they didn't really know what's going on either. So nobody can use this. It can solve the problem. So I just let it go. Yeah, until now.
Oh my god. So your social security number is still somewhere in the office in the United States, sitting on the desk.
Really? Yeah, because I heard from other Taiwanese friends, they also say they received that within 2 weeks or the latest 1 month. So I didn't really know. I don't really know what's going on with that.
Now that you mentioned, in Taiwan, everything is very, I gotta say, efficient. Like, they will tell you the time, and then you will get the time. If not, you can yell at them. Because they are all, serious. When you walk into the office, they will be, the atmosphere just, really serious. You don't mess with them sort of thing.
And there's another, inconvenient thing about to see a doctor in a clinic.
Oh my God,
It's
yes.
really, really time-consuming. But I have to say their medical personnel are very, very careful and attentive. They are very nice, but, just somehow something is wrong.
There's something wrong in the system. We're not so sure what it is, but seeing a doctor, I think most of people can agree, going to see a doctor is very, very, very inconvenient in the United States.
Yes, that is true.
Anything else is negative? We have going on and on about negative.
One more thing that's important to be a teacher there, because I was a teacher in college there. So, teachers need stationery, but they don't have the good stationery.
They don't have good stationery.
Pens, pencils. I just need corrections. They don't have that. They have it, but just super expensive and very bad one. I don't have all the words to describe that. Yes. Just how could you sell this bad thing in a really high price? I just couldn't understand about that.
Yeah. Again, totally agree. Like I miss Taiwan. Taiwan has like 九成九 or eating 九 or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
Definitely. Bad stationaries in the USA. So if you want to come here to study or teach, prepare your own stationaries.
Will I be safe after finish the podcast?
We shall see. We shall see.
Okay.
All right. So those are the positive and negative aspects of living in the United States. What about making friends? This is a topic I really wanted to mention because me personally have noticed the differences, like how easy it is to make new friends. So could you share, when you are in the USA, do you find it difficult to make friends?
I think because I was staying in a college, so I think it was the reason why it's easier for me to make friends in the United States, I guess. Yeah, because it was in college, so people are around and very close, so it's not a big problem for me to make friends there.
So what about Taiwan? Like if you have to compare, do you have an easy time making foreign friends or local friends when you are in Taiwan?
I never compared these two, but for me, I think I am the easygoing person, so not really difficult for me to make friends, no matter the Taiwanese or foreigners here. Yeah, because I love traveling. I think that's because when I'm traveling, I always like to stay in hostels, so it's really easy for me to make Taiwanese friends and foreigners friends.
Definitely. Like hostel is like one of the many best ways to make new friends.
Yeah. So that's why I love to stay in hostels when traveling.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. And as a Taiwanese, like based on your experience, what are some common traits that Taiwanese people have? Like, have you ever met some Taiwanese people they just have difficult time making friends?
I think so, but I think that it's basically based on their personalities because some people they don't really like to make friends or they just don't like to be socializing. And yeah, so I think it's really relates to their personality. Yeah.
I see.
But yes, maybe some people they want to make friends but they are too shy or too humble and seldom try to express themselves. So that's the reason, I guess.
Would you say shy, humble, and having a difficult time express their true feeling would be the common traits they preventing them from making new friends?
Yeah, or they care about people's thought too much. So they just try not to, express themselves that
Do
easily.
you have a tip for them? Like for the person who really wants to make new friends, but somehow they are shy, humble, or don't know how to express themselves?
Yeah, I think the first thing for those people have to do is they have to know people don't really care about what you think.
That's a really good way. Yes, you're all worried about other people, but actually they don't really care.
Yeah, so they just think too much, I think. So just stop thinking that much. Yeah.
I see.
So everything will go better.
I see. That's a really good tip. Yeah. Think less. Okay.
Hey, everybody. We hope you're enjoying today's episode. Thank you so much for being here. It's people like you who are helping us grow into a bigger and greater podcast. And we are offering you a great opportunity that is exclusive only here on Taiwanica. And that is our sub-channel, buymeacoffee.com/Taiwanica. Over there, we have special content that is only available to you with a small donation. This donation helps us move forward, and you will be able to have all the exclusive access to this special content that is nowhere else. So we hope you can come join us there, and we can't wait for you to check it out. Thank you so much.
Next question is related to your, like, where you go to a new country. What was the difficulty that you commonly encounter when exploring a new country?
Oh, I think that the common difficulty for me would be the language differences. Yeah, But no matter what countries they are, even when I was in China, I also had difficulties as well when I was there. Yeah. So, culture, languages is the main way to communicate with people. So when you are not able to talk to people, communicate with people, you will feel insecure and you will feel unsafe. So I think that is the biggest problem for me when I'm traveling in different countries.
So I'm assuming that eventually you overcome this difficulty.
Yeah, I did, but it depends. It took me a lot of time, but it depends on the countries. So when I was in China, it took me like I remember it took me like 2 weeks to 1 month to conquer the problem. Yeah, because they have their own local language and their accent, and they speak very fast. So I couldn't really understand what were they talking about, and different words and phrases as well. I made some mistakes there, just like they said. I was taking the taxi there, and then I told them I want to go to 饭店. They told me, no, it's too late. You are not going there. I said, what do you mean?
I live there. I stay there.
Yeah, so I was thinking like, is it going to do something bad on me or what? After that, I realized that I have to say 酒店 not 饭店 there, because 饭店 means the place to eat rice or to eat the meal something. Yeah.
God, okay.
So I have to say 酒店. But 酒店 for me as a Taiwanese, we think, are you sure?
Yeah, it's like a sketchy place, sort of thing.
Yeah. So I have a lot of things like that in China. Yeah.
So would you say in China is the place that surprisingly has the most difficulties to conquer?
No, not really. The biggest difficulties that I have with the language problem is in the United States.
Okay.
Although I could speak in English before I went to the States, the place I went to was in South Carolina, and this college was an HBCU school. And so, which means in the school, Black people would be the majority there. And I am the only, or maybe 3 Asians in the school only. Yes, so I didn't see people from Asians too much. Yeah, so people in the South America, they have their own accents too. And Black people have their own accent and slang too. So they really drove me crazy about about their language. Even they were speaking in English, but really hard for me. It took me like 6 months to overcome the problem.
Yeah, I think the accent, I've have so many people told me about they are struggling to correct their accent.
Oh, I think like we should correct the accent. I think accent is okay. Everyone has the accent. So even like different Americans have different accents too, but we cannot say that's wrong, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Accent is totally fine for me. If you can communicate, that is okay. But the key point is like I have to understand.
Yeah, definitely, right? The first step is to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you do like South American accent right now?
I was trying to learn, but not authentic. As I remember, they would always say, "Hey, you, my people." Something like, "How are you?"
My people.
Yeah, something. But it's not authentic. I don't really how to speak it right now. Yeah, but I have a lot of friends from there right now, so I really like to talk to them.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, that's the point,
Yeah,
right?
really.
We always think, I think that's like Taiwanese point of view. Like we feel like we all only have one correct way to speak a language. We only have like one correct way to Mandarin Chinese. If someone somehow having like a Chinese accent, they'll be like, no, that's not correct, But thank you for sharing this experience that many people knows accent is totally fine, and one language has so many different ways that you can present it, right? It's not right or wrong. It's just different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very valuable lesson. Thank you for sharing.
No problem.
Yeah. And in the beginning, you mentioned about there was a lot of culture shock. So could you share what was the culture shock when you experienced
Okay.
in the USA?
Yeah, I should say, okay, this one, I knew it before I went to the States, but it was the first time I went to the States, so the first experience there just about the tips culture in restaurants. Until now I still think it totally doesn't make sense. Like, why should we pay tips to
Seriously.
the service?
Yeah. That's your job, isn't it? Right? Like, why should I pay extra money for that?
Yeah, and people try to explain to me that, oh, because they got a really low paid hourly. And, the local people explained this to me, and I told them, then that's your government's problem, right?
And like, I remember like few years ago, the common tips is like 10%. 10% is,
Now it's like 18%
yeah.
now, right? To 20.
Yeah, sometimes up to 20%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
So it's like, sometimes I feel like when I'm ordering Uber Eats, my tips is more expensive than my food. It's just like, how? I don't understand. Because there are so many fees that you have to pay, like service fee, delivery fee, and tips. I was like, okay, I'm paying for my food, or what is going on here?
It's really crazy, insane.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. Tip culture is like a culture shock.
The big one.
Any other culture shock that you would like to share?
I think it would be, I kind of jealous that people can just, do one thing in one day. Just like their life passes so slow, and I really like that. They can get off work on time, never overwork. Yeah, so I think this is a really good culture. Yeah.
That we can agree. It's a good culture. So good job, America. All right. And also you mentioned about like you started to know how to, cook a lot of Taiwanese food because of the high spending lifestyle. So next question for you is, what are some of the things that you are capable of doing thanks to going abroad that you would otherwise be unable to do so?
Oh yeah, so like making local Taiwanese food, and I think this is something important. Is like I know what real life could be by seeing others' lives. So in Taiwan, most of the people they just have most of people, not everyone, but the people around me, I see they have the regular life, go to work, stay home, and on weekends stay home or just have a short trip, something like that. But I see people have so much different values toward their life and their work. So I think this is something important, just like we can be out of the box and not to just keep staying the same. We can do some change by ourselves. So we can change life. We have the power to change. Just we have to know what kind of possibilities we have.
So positive. Literally give me chills. We have the ability to change. That is so true. I feel Taiwanese people, we definitely have the ability to adapt to the environment because you see Taiwan's history and all the developments that we've been through in a short period of time. We are definitely capable of doing a lot of things to adapt to the environment. But for some reason, a lot of Taiwanese people, they just got, caught up by their fear of stepping outside of their comfort zone, which in your way you described as box. Right? So
That's true.
were you like that before you go outside of Taiwan? Were you like, afraid to change, or have you always been like this, like seeking for challengings and different lifestyles?
Yeah, I think I'm always being like this because I guess because of my personality. So I'm trying to do something different all the time. Yeah, but when you stay in the Eastern countries and Western countries, I think there's difference as well. So just try to broaden my own horizons and find out more possibilities and novel things in life. So I think that's pretty nice for me.
I see. Really, really good suggestion for a lot of Taiwanese people, right? You can definitely change. All you have to do is to step out the first step.
Yeah.
Very nice. Wow. I feel like I'm having a job interview. You definitely got a job, Erin. Welcome on board.
Thank you. How much you are going to pay me?
Much, but we are selling passion. Do you have passion?
Oh, not really for now.
All right. Joke on the side. That's great. Because, I definitely see younger and younger generations starting to have like their dreams, or American dreams, or whatever country they wanted to go to. But in my generation, I'm pretty sure we are qualified as the same generation. Most of our friends or our siblings, from my personal experience, they are very different from me. Or should I say I'm very different from them. They are 80-90% of the people who are just staying in a very comfortable lifestyle in Taiwan. And I'm like you, I'm always seeking for challenging new things to do. So the question for you, do you consider yourself different from normal, quote unquote, normal Taiwanese people?
It's a hard question. Maybe no, because I still have, everyone is really different. So even they have the similar lifestyles, but I think personalities are all different. So I think we're cannot be compared.
Very different perspective. I like it. Like my parents or like me come from a very conservative family, so they always say I'm different. So it kind of gives different a bad meaning to me. I'm guessing based on what you say, different is not necessarily a negative term, but because of how I've raised in my family, I consider, me personally, I think different is a negative word.
I think the generation is different right now. So being different is now the positive words.
That's great. Thank you for the encouragement. Yay. Different is definitely a positive word right now.
Yeah, that is true.
I see. All right. And I always say that there are a lot of things I didn't see before I was in Taiwan. I was seeing Taiwan as one way. And after I started traveling outside of Taiwan, or right now currently live in the USA, I started to seeing Taiwan from a different point of view. So what about that? What about you? Sorry. What is something about Taiwan that you did not recognize as valuable until after you, as Chinese saying, drank the Western ink? Greg insists to put it here, so I just read the script. Yeah, so what is the things that you did not recognize as valuable until that you go travel?
I think, I always take food for granted. So now I really cherish food, especially fruits, vegetables. You know how expensive is that in the States? It's nonsense.
I know,
like
right?
Dragon fruits, basils, vegetables, bubble milk tea. Crazy.
I know, right? Basically everything is super crazy. At least like 3 times of the price.
Yeah, which is really nonsense.
Yeah. So the fruit and vegetables.
Yeah, this is the most impressive thing for me because I really love traveling in Taiwan since years ago. I love everything in Taiwan, but food, because when you are not doing comparison, you will never know how good it is in Taiwan.
Totally agree. We can basically eat any kind of vegetables, any kind of fruit throughout the whole year.
Yeah, that is true.
It's definitely true. Like here, sometimes I was mentioned about, I really wanted to eat a certain either fruit or vegetables, and Eric will be like, that's not a season for it. I was like, what are you talking about? In Taiwan, 4 seasons is the same season.
Yeah, that is true. Give him a punch.
Yes, totally agree. So anything else except for fruit and vegetables?
Or maybe this is the common issue, like people say the health insurance, right?
That's a thing. It's definitely not a thing in the United States.
Yeah, health insurance is pretty important. You'll never know how good it is.
Yes, totally agree. Wow. I feel like we are speaking the same language here because like vegetable and fruit and healthy insurances are the three things I missed about Taiwan.
Yeah.
You know, like those three things are so essential and you wouldn't notice that when you are, when you don't have them. That's when you start to notice that, oh my God, those three things are so important.
Yeah, that is true. Wow. Yeah. But the most important thing is still the food because I'm the foodie, so.
Still, the food is the most important. And
Food is
I think
everything.
most of Taiwanese people are very proud of our food. Don't you agree?
Oh, yeah, I agree. But some of my American friends, they told me, like Taiwanese food has some kind of smell that is not a bad smell, but just a smell.
Just something.
Yeah, just I'm thinking maybe just like when we try the Thai food, we will smell something. Oh, that is Thai food.
Yeah,
We
yeah, yeah.
identify that. Yes, I
Yes,
guess so.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, food is definitely very important. And, we can always make food out of nothing. Like, even you don't have
Yeah.
anything in your refrigerator, you can always make something out of it.
Yes, that is a
That's
talent.
We're such a foodie, so we're talking about food. Yeah, agree. All right. It was so great to have an interview with you. Today, the final question for you is what is the one message you wish to leave for anyone who planning to go travel or move to a foreign country?
I would say don't plan too much. Once you buy the ticket and know where you're going to live for the first 2 days, then you are ready to go. But you just need to know some common sense, like how to protect yourself.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I think these are enough.
Yeah.
Yes. If you think too much, you will never go.
That's true. That is so true, Erin. That's great. Yeah, a lot of people like, I really want to go there. But there are this, and that. It was like,
Yeah.
just like you
Yeah.
say, buy the ticket, figure out the first few days where you're going to stay, then have a common sense that protect yourself, then you're ready to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I see. Very, very, very valuable message. Don't think too much. Prepare. No, don't prepare too much either. Just get ready
Yeah.
and you are good to go.
Yeah, that is true. There are so many ways to traveling around. You can be like a backpacker. You can travel in a luxury way. It's all your choice.
That is really, really, really good lesson. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah. You're welcome. It's nice to
Yeah.
be here today.
All right, so thank you so much, Erin, for your time today. Thank you so much for your tips. I'm pretty sure all the listeners will get a lot from you. So today, there will be our interview. Do you have any final questions?
I have some students, they are asking some podcast channels. May I just share this news with everyone else?
Of course, more than welcome to do so. Like this is
Okay.
what we are. Our purpose is to share, like Taiwan, especially Taiwanese learner who wanted to know more about, American and lifestyle and culture wise. So this is our podcast is for you to
Okay.
share with as many people as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, right. So thank you so much for listening, y'all. And thank you so much, Erin. And I will see you next time.